Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, where today you join me obviously with a new car, and this is the follow-up video to the goodbye of the Porsche Macan, and this is clearly its replacement, a brand new Porsche Cayman GTS 4.0. So on the previous video I did say it was going to be another Porsche that was replacing the Macan, and I did say it was going to be much more suitable for the upcoming Petrolheads tour that we are going on through Spain and France. And I think you could probably agree with me, a Cayman GTS is much better suited than a 2-ton Macan SUV. Albeit the Macan was fast for what it was 440 horsepower, it was a twin turbo V6 2.9 litre engine, but obviously the biggest factor is it is an SUV and it did weigh 2 tons. Now, whereas this, we've got nearly the same power with 400 horsepower, but obviously a lot less weight, and it is rear wheel drive as well, so we can have a bit of fun if we want to. Now, a couple of obviously the big questions: is it a manual? No, it's not a manual, it is a PDK, but that's not a bad thing. You'd think, well, you'd want a manual for a driving tour, but it has to be dailied as well, so there's them factors. But yeah, PDK is still going to be plenty of fun through them twisty roads, up the mountain passes. But I think one of the biggest biggest things on this car is the GTS 4.0. So it does actually have the same 4 litre flat 6 engine, naturally aspirated, that is on the current Cayman GT4. It's just a slightly down-tuned version. Hot torque figures are exactly the same at 430 for the PDK box, not 420 for the manual, but slightly tuned down on horsepower. So rather than 420, it's 420 horsepower. I don't think you can notice a difference. Colour wise, is a very nice combination. We've got the Arctic grey paintwork with the satin black Cayman wheels. Shouldn't be too hard to be dealing with miles and miles of bug splats on the road through the mountains. Brakes wise, nothing too special, just a standard brakes, the black calipers, 6-spot calipers, and 350mm discs on the front. Not carbon ceramics or anything, because I guess after this Petrolheads tour the car will have a fairly easy life, so won't be going too mad needing ceramic brakes. So I think this car is going to be the absolute perfect platform for where this is heading. Mid-engined, rear-wheel drive, all the noise coming out the back, naturally aspirated, not being baffled by a turbo. I've heard sometimes supercars can be a bit too much, and a bit too much to handle through the mountain passes from the chats that we're now in. Sometimes it gets a little bit narrow on the twisties and stuff, and because it's a supercar, the nature of it, and the countries that you go through, they don't tend to care too much about their cars, so they're all on mopeds driving around and stuff. So a small little nimble Cayman I think is going to be perfect, and from what we've been told as well, it's possibly one of the perfect choices you could get. So yeah, we'll jump in and we'll go for a quick blast. Now, straight off the bat is the seating position. It is like hopping out of obviously an SUV, but more importantly straight into what feels like a go-kart. It's small, you can tell it's going to be nimble just by your seating position and the size of everything around you. You can see all your points, you see your bulges in your bonnet down there, but ultimately is this noise. I mean, everyone always used to take the piss out of Boxsters back in the day, saying it was the Porsche that you can't afford. Oh, you want a 911 but you can't afford one. But nowadays, if we just put it in Sports Plus, because that's where we're going to be living. Handbrake's a little bit weird, it's down here for some reason, right, as opposed to a button there. But yeah, I won't go too mad on this video, but steering wheel's quite small, like the girth of it. You can get your fingers all the way around. It's nice Alcantara finish, so it's nice and grippy. But yeah, first mid-engine car I believe I've ever driven actually, and it's a weird sensation. You can feel and sort of hear everything at the back, all the tappets, like all the little rattlings from the exhaust and everything. But we had a quick look last night at the actual storage situation. There's a little boot at the back, but obviously most of that space is being taken up by the engine. But the frunk, or whatever Porsche want to call it, at the front is actually reasonably big. Just proving that you can fit a body in the front of a Cayman. So I don't think we'll actually be worrying about luggage space as much as what we did, but yeah, just coming into a national, and this is the noises we're going to be living with. Hear this engine open up. Oh, I mean, they are, like I said, you had a Boxster because you wanted a 911 but you couldn't afford one, but now the engines in the baby Porsches are just phenomenal. And although I know they need to meet EU regulations for emissions and stuff like that, which means OPF filters and all that palaver in the exhaust systems, they still sound amazing, and that's even before modifying it. Just a quick blip up the road. That is a very loud stock exhaust system. Oh, I know Porsches have always been good regardless of driving them or not, but the only Porsche previous to this I'd driven was the Macan, and that sounded good for a big SUV with a V6. This with a flat six naturally aspirated sounds so much better. So yes, I'm very much looking forward to this. I mean, I've driven it 30 seconds around the block prior to this video, and straight away I was hooked. But just opening it up that little bit like that through these little lanes for this video, I'm very much, so much more looking forward to this trip now. And I believe, looking at the car list as well, that there is a few other Cayman GTSs and GT4s going as well. So the hills truly will be alive with the sound of flat sixes. Just even the quick shifts, I can't believe how much it sings. So yeah, like I said, this is just a quick sort of introduction video to the Cayman GTS ahead of our tour. Depending on timings, I might be able to get a sort of full review of it done before we go away. I know Ant at GAD Tuning, because we love them guys, they inquired about this car and said about maybe just getting it on the dyno just for a base, sort of a base run, just to see base figures if the car is running what it was quoted, because they've never had one before, I don't think. So he wanted to get us down, possibly just to have a little play with it and see what it was doing. So I might have a video on that as well coming up. But for now, I'll leave you to enjoy another working week and the weather while it's lasting. So we'll see you on another Cayman video, or maybe the M3 video when that's done and uploaded in the week coming. So I'll see you on the next one very soon. Cheers, and I'll see you later.